Hi, everyone. I'm David Aragona, and this is the September 29th edition of Horses to Watch, where we carefully analyze some trips from the past week, looking for horses that might have encountered adversity and could be worth betting back when they run in the future. It was a relatively slow week from a trip standpoint this past week at Belmont Park. Just a couple of races that I want to talk about. We're going to go all the way back to Thursday, September 23rd, for the first race that I want to discuss. This was the fifth race on that September 23rd card, a New York bred maiden special weight going a mile and a 16th on the inner turf course. And the inner turf course at Belmont Park, they start actually on the Widener course, have to cross over onto the inner course. It's not really a designated chute. So you typically see some chaotic starts. And that's what we get in this race as we roll the tape. We're going to focus on two horses, the number 6 Convertible Freeze and the number 7 Excursion East. Focus on the number 7, though, a few strides out of the starting gate. He's the horse in those light blue and yellow silks. You can see right there, he got a little bit cut off coming out of the starting gate and has to steady the jockey. Jose Lezcano really pulls back on the reins to get him out of that uncomfortable position. Meanwhile, the number 6 Convertible Freeze just breaks a little bit slowly. Then when that happens on the inner turf course, going this mile and the 16th distance, horses typically get shuffled back, and he finds himself all the way back in last place at the start of this race. Both of these horses are second-time starters that made their debuts on dirt. Excursion East was actually entered for turf first and out, but that race was rained off. So both of them making their turf debuts in this race, but they find themselves having to come from far off the pace given those starts, and there's not a whole lot of pace for them to close into here. You see the fractions going up 25 and 3 for the opening quarter. The half is going to get posted in just over 51 seconds. Now, there were some timing problems last week at Belmont Park. A lot of that got sorted out this week, and this race looks perfectly fine once it was posted on Trackus. Those fractions pretty much match what the teletimer had, so I would trust the fractions that you see being posted here. And the eventual winner of this race is going to be that early leader, the number 4, Sundays with Sandy. And Sundays with Sandy is ridden by Louis Saez. He does a really smart thing here coming to the top of the stretch, as he's going to break this race open and spurt away from the field. And it's going to catch the number 7 Excursion East and the number 6 Convertible Freeze a little bit off guard, because there they are at the back of the pack behind a wall of horses. And the winner's already given them the slip at this point, and they have way too much ground to make up to win this race. Excursion East looks a little bit green. Jose Lezcano has a bit of trouble steering him out into the clear. Probably wanted to get this horse wound up a little bit earlier to start his run, because once he does start running through the stretch, he's really finishing off this race gamely. The number 6 Convertible Freeze, you might have seen at the top of the stretch, Jose Ortiz, for whatever reason, decided to stay inside with this horse, and he just had nowhere to go. Got stated out a little bit and really finished decently at the end once he got into the clear. I think just missing out in a close photo for 5th. But the horse that really showed ability in this race was that second place finisher, Excursion East, who just got going too late, was probably the best horse on this day, given the pace situation, given that greenness that he showed on the far turn. And he seems like one that's likely to break out of the maiden ranks next time if he finds a turf race either late in the Belmont meet or when they switch racing to Aqueduct. Not really sure how much ability Convertible Freeze has. He's a second-time starter for the Brad Cox barn, did seem to take a slight step forward getting on the turf, and I'd like to give him one more chance on this surface, because he just never really had a chance to do any running through the stretch of this race. Moving on to a race from Sunday. This is actually another New York bred maiden special weight. This one for the 2-year-old fillies, going 6 furlongs on the dirt. And this is race 6 on that September 26th card at Belmont. Let's break these horses from the gate. We're going to focus on a first-time starter, the number 6 Sister Linda. Now, this filly was going out for Michelle Nevin, who typically doesn't have her first-time starters cranked up to win on their debuts. And you can see she's just a little bit green here. There she is, the number 6 in those pink and yellow silks. And her rider, Manny Franco, is really trying to keep her engaged with the rest of the field, because you can see she's not really liking running into that kickback. And right about here, Franco really starts to hustle her to keep her early position. And the horse that's actually right outside of her in those white and blue silks is the eventual winner of this race, Venti Valentine. And I want to watch the difference in trips right here between Venti Valentine, the number 12, and this number 6 Sister Linda, because horses are tiring in front of Sister Linda, and she's going to get ridden right into traffic about here. And you can see Franco has to stop riding her, pull back on the reins, steady her, and she's actually going to get steadied as it gets even worse, all the way back to last by the time they get to the top of the stretch. And there she is on the rail, getting a ton of dirt kicked back in her face, just tiring horses in front of her. And she's going to really just lose interest as she's now back in last of the 3/16 pole. Meanwhile, Venti Valentine, who did show ability in this race, she makes a big, wide, unencumbered run into the race and is going to eventually get up to win, just nailing the favorite, Let Her Inspire You, at the finish of this race. But Sister Linda, while she finishes, I believe, 10th at the end of this race, beaten a long, long way, I think over 20 lengths, I think that incident coming to the quarter pole really cost her any chance that she had of getting involved in the finish. So I would like to see her get one more chance, maybe with a cleaner break, showing a little bit more speed, or with an outside post position. I think she's a horse that might be able to do better in her second start for Michelle Nevin, whose runners do typically improve with a little bit of experience. And she is a horse who could get dismissed at a very big price the next time that she runs. So those are all the horses to watch for this week. Just three of them from two races. If you want to follow these horses moving forward, you can add them to your horse watch on drf.com. Just add them to a list and you'll get email notifications when these horses run back, work, or are entered in the future. So thanks for tuning in this week, and make sure to catch future episodes of Horses to Watch on upcoming Wednesdays.